About the Muslim ban that you called for before, the temporary ban that you called for, are you still behind that? Because in light of what happened at the gay nightclub, the Pulse the other night, that was an American-born Muslim.
Well, his father came in, and his father seems to be pretty radical, frankly. I've been watching that whole situation. If you look at the past, he was pretty tough. I think he probably believes in things that maybe are not in our interests. I've been watching that. I've been studying that. And so the parents came in, and we have a situation. We have 50 dead, almost 50 dead. We have a lot of people very badly injured. And I thought it was I mean, who's ever seen anything like this? And you have people all over the country right now that have the same kind of hate. We have many people all over the country. We don't even know who they are, where they are. We don't even know, they're being placed all over the country by our federal government. A lot of the governors have told me, and they've complained that people are put into their communities, Greta. They don't even know where they're being put. They don't even explain it. So it's a real problem.
But I know it's a real problem with terrorism. But we've already got so many of those people that you would now seek to ban. They're already in the United States. What would you do? You're going to go round them up? What would you do with the people? And how do you how do you handle the fact that so many are lawful?
Greta, as you know, it's temporary. And also, I've been saying this for a long time, they have to report. Now, in the case of this guy, it always turns out that other people knew, like his wife knew, according to everything that I've been able to see. And she knew everything. Other people knew. Perhaps the father knew. But they don't report it. They never report it to the authorities. So we have these catastrophic events. If you look at San Bernardino, they had bombs all over the apartment. People saw the apartment. People saw there were bombs on the floor of her apartment. Now, if you have bombs on the floor of an apartment, I mean, you got to report that. So they're very much into their own community. They have bombs all over the floor of the apartment and other things, by the way. And instead of reporting it, Greta, they didn't report it. Nobody reported it. You have 14 dead people in California, and you have many, many injured to this day, many injured. So they have to report, because if they don't report, we're never going to get to the bottom of it. We're never going to find out what's going on.
That's something different from a ban, a temporary ban or a permanent ban, whatever kind of ban. Is it people's failure to?
It's not that.
It's seeing something and not saying something.
Greta, it's not that it's different. It's all part of one. They have to report. We have people. I have many Muslim friends. I have great friends that are Muslim. And I think, honestly, if they saw something going on in the apartment next door or a house across the street, I think they would report it to the authorities. But the people have to report what's going on. These things don't just happen. They're planned, and people see it. As an example, the one that led the Paris attack, he was living practically right next door to where he was for years, and nobody reported him. They found him by, I guess, luck, but nobody reported him. And they're supposed to report these people. Here's a criminal. He was #1 on the list as to most wanted. And the people he's living like almost across the hallway from where he's lived for years. Everybody knew he was there, and nobody even reported that he was there. This is after the attack.
And Frank, just I'm all in favor of people when they see something, they say something, and it's terrible when they don't. And we have the crisis. I was just down in Orlando. But let me turn to another issue. Is President Obama? And
you know what else? You know what else they're using? You know what else they're using? They're using racial profiling as a method of getting away from, I didn't want to report because of racial profiling. I didn't want to say this. Give me a break. Racial profiling. So they're using all of our politically correct terms in order to get out of doing something where they have an obligation to do. So it's a pretty sad situation.
All right. President Obama yesterday talked about the term radical Islam, and I think that he's pointing it directly at you and saying labels don't work. Do you have a response to the president?
Well, he doesn't want to use the term, and he didn't even use the full term. It's called radical Islamic terrorism. OK, he didn't want to even use the word terrorism when he spoke. And he said it doesn't matter. Well, I say it does matter, because if you're not going to define a problem, you can't solve a problem, Greta. You're not going to be able to solve the problem. So he's unwilling to define the problem. And frankly, he showed really, I think, yesterday much more anger toward Donald Trump than he did toward the shooter. I mean, give me a break. And I'm not the only one to say this. This is all over the place. But he showed tremendous anger toward me, whereas the shooter, the shooter is like, I didn't see the anger. And look, I think he's got to show great anger toward these people that are coming in to this country and killing our people. Now, in this case, he was born here, but he was radicalized, and that happens a lot. The second generation, if you look at this, and I've done actually a pretty good study on it, the second generation can be as violent or more violent than the first when they become radicalized. It's very scary in terms of our country. And, you know, right now I'm going to speak in front of thousands of people. The place is packed, and I want to tell you, they want answers to what's going on. They want to be able to go to a club, and they want to be able to go to a movie theater, and they want to be able to fly on airplanes without thinking it's going to be blown out of the air, Greta.
All right, you're quoted as saying that you are a better friend to the gay community than Secretary Clinton. Why do you say that?
Because Secretary Clinton has taken massive amounts of money, like in terms of one country, $25 million for her foundation and his foundation, from countries that kill gays. They kill them. They execute gays. And women, they treat them as slaves. So she's taken millions and millions of dollars from countries that kill gays and millions of dollars from countries that treat women as slaves, okay? And in addition to that, she wants a 550% increase of people coming in over Obama, of people coming into this country that don't really share our beliefs, okay? And they are people that are coming in, again, their attitude toward gays and their attitude toward women is not compatible with the attitudes of our country. And I will tell you that I've heard a lot of talk over the last 2 days since I've been talking about this subject. A lot of people are supporting me that you wouldn't think necessarily would be supporting me, and they're supporting me big league.
All right. DNC was hacked, and some of the things that they got was opposition research about you. Have you heard from the DNC? Have they apologized? Have they told you anything about the security? Do you know what was taken? Have you heard from the chair, Debbie Wasserman Schultz?
Well, knowing her, I don't actually know her, but I sort of understand her. Maybe they weren't hacked. Maybe they just wanted to get it out there. No, I have not heard. They have not apologized. And they probably should be apologizing.
You don't expect to hear from them then?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. They should apologize, certainly.
And more with Donald Trump coming up. Is Trump doing a 180, taking on the NRA that endorsed him? You'll hear Trump's answer to that next. And the Orlando terrorist family is now under a microscope. His wife under intense investigation. And we tracked down the terrorist's father. Hear what he has to say. That's coming up. Back now with part 2 of my interview with Donald Trump. Is Trump calling for more gun control? Here's Donald Trump. You're quoted as saying that you are a better friend to the gay community than Secretary Clinton. Why do you say that?
Because Secretary Clinton has taken massive amounts of money, like in terms of one country, $25 million for her foundation and his foundation, from countries that kill gays. They kill them. They execute gays. And women, they treat them as slaves. So she's taken millions and millions of dollars from countries that kill gays and millions of dollars from countries that treat women as slaves, okay? And in addition to that, she wants a 550% increase of people coming in over Obama, of people coming into this country that don't really share our beliefs, okay? And they are people that are coming in, again, their attitude toward gays and their attitude toward women is not compatible with the attitudes of our country. And I will tell you that I've heard a lot of talk over the last 2 days since I've been talking about this subject. A lot of people are supporting me that you wouldn't think necessarily would be supporting me, and they're supporting me big league.
All right. DNC was hacked. And some of the things that they got was opposition research about you. Have you heard from the DNC? Have they apologized? Have they told you anything about the security? Do you know what was taken? Have you heard from the chair, Debbie Wasserman Schultz?
Well, knowing her, I don't actually know her, but I sort of understand her. maybe they weren't hacked. Maybe they just wanted to get it out there. No, I have not heard. They have not apologized, and they probably should be apologizing.
You don't expect to hear from them then?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. They should apologize, certainly.
All right, the NRA, you tweeted today that you'll be meeting with the NRA, who has endorsed you, about not allowing people on the terrorist watch list or the no-fly list to buy guns. Are you in favor of some greater gun control than you were before, in light of what happened Saturday night?
Well, I'm going to be looking at it very, very seriously. The terror watch list and the no-fly list. I'm going to be talking to the NRA about that and starting a real dialogue. I think a lot of people agree with me, but I want to really hear what they have to say. They've endorsed me. They're terrific people. They love this country. I will tell you that. They love this country. I'm a member, and my sons are members. And my sons are members longstanding, and they are tremendous believers like I am. So I want to meet with the NRA. We're going to be discussing it. A number of people have brought this to my attention, and I understand why we should be discussing it.
A new ABC Washington Post poll shows that your unfavorables are now at 70. They've jumped 10 points in a month. What is your strategy to turn that around?
All I can do is do what I'm doing, Greta. You know, I think a lot of things have happened from what I hear in some of the same polls that you're talking about over the last 2 days, because people view me as much, much tougher on terrorism, much tougher on the military, and much tougher on the borders. And all I can do is do what I'm doing. I mean, I have not done this before. I'm enjoying it. We have tremendous crowds of people downstairs. We have a packed house. It's, you know, I'm in Atlanta right now, and it's amazing what's going on. But I'm just going to continue to do what I'm doing, and we'll see how it all turns out. You know, I was opposed to 17 different people, and I'm here, and let's see what goes on. Hillary is, I think she would be inept. Even her Secret Service agent, who knows her probably better than most, he said she doesn't have the right temperament. She would be a disaster, actually. And the things he said about her in a book that comes out in a week are horrendous. So if people want her, I guess that's going to be their choice. But I think she's going to be a disaster as president. And I think I would do a great job. And I'll keep our country safe. Believe me, make America great again. But I'm also going to make America safe again, because our country is unsafe. People don't know. They're afraid to go to a movie theater now.
What, Donald, just one last question. I mean, in the past couple of days, we've had a Canadian who was beheaded in the Philippines by a group that's declared affiliation to ISIS. We've had the 2 police in France who were executed. And we have the guy down in Florida, where I've just been, the 49 who were, you know, slaughtered. Big picture, how would you destroy ISIS? Because it's spreading, it's all over the globe.
It's getting worse and worse, and you got to hit them very hard, Greta. You got to hit them very, very hard. You know, part of the reason that ISIS is growing so fast and growing, I mean, they're using the internet better than we use it, but a lot of these young people are seeing the way they're getting away with all of these atrocities, and they're respecting it. And it all starts from where they came from. You know, we created that, and President Obama created it to a large extent by leaving and by getting out so badly. We should have never been in Iraq, but we should have never gotten out the way he got out, just by leaving. Nobody behind, and all of a sudden ISIS forms, and you see what they're doing. And people, it's growing because people are leaving our country and other countries, and they're joining ISIS because they're respecting them because of what they're doing and what they're getting away with. And we've got to make sure that they don't respect them very much longer, Greta. We got to hit them very hard.
Well, it's very sad. I can tell you down in Orlando, and it's, you know, continue a lot of broken hearts.
It's terrible.
From
it's terrible. It's an atrocity.
Coast.
It's terrible. Yeah, should never, ever, ever happen.
Indeed. And so the bottom line, if you see something, say something. That's to everybody, no matter where you are, on a subway or wherever. Donald, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Greta.
And yes, if you might have noticed, we had a little technical issue. That interview, part of that interview aired twice. That was not a test to see if you were paying attention. That was an error. And new information tonight about